We stick with Pool A, and it is New Zealand, the defending champions here in Los Angeles, taking on Chile, invitational team, their 15th appearance rather, on the HSBC World Sevens Series, their first since 2021. And New Zealand will be led out by one of their veterans, Dylan Collier, in his 50th tournament for New Zealand on the World Series, the Olympics, Commonwealth Games and Rugby World Cup. And he was surprised by his mum, Ellie, yesterday. She made the trip over from New Zealand and presented him with his jersey. Dylan Collier, 50 up for him. And a popular figure in this New Zealand team who are full of confidence despite losing another handful of players to injuries. They've got some cattle sitting at home, but sitting on top of the table. And there's another new face too, number 33, debutant, Finianonofo for New Zealand. And for these guys, Madison, Chile, what a test. What a way to see where you're at.
How about that? Coming onto the World Series and first came up, you've got this team leading the series standing. So it'll be a great test for Chile and fantastic to see what they can do here. And Dylan Collier has been such a servant to the New Zealand Sevens team over the years. Such a veteran player, such a great player. And it's great to see him pull his 50th tournament up.
Pool A underway, Chile in the red, New Zealand in the black, and we are off the boot of Marcelo Turrialba, the Chilean captain, and as a first touch for the new man, Finianonofo. It's Weber, and now Collier in his 50th. Roderick Solo standing out wide. It's a loose ball back for New Zealand though, and Carter has to tidy up. Another player who celebrated a birthday here in LA this week, just yesterday. Bit of sunshine out there as well. Weber, elusive little flick ball for Dixon, the New Zealand captain. Offload for Finianonofo. Quick recycle of play by the defending LA Sevens champions, Collier. Carter. And now some space for Solo, and he's really quick. Roderick Solo continues to put his name in lights and gets the first score for New Zealand, Roderick Solo.
Solo showing his pace on the outside and some loose handling for New Zealand, but they're able to recover, get the ball back under control, move it side to side, and really stretching this Chilean defense and find the gap on the outside. And Solo, you can see he's got wheels, only needs to start opening up his legs, and the try line beckons. New Zealand starting off the game very well.
Just his 7th tournament, Roderick Solo, and already that's 17 tries. Dream team in Hamilton and Sydney. So the conversion's good too, and New Zealand on the board 7 points to 0.
Good start for New Zealand, showing they can move the ball around.
His mum and dad also made a surprise trip over, Anita and Uffa, Roderick Solo's parents. McGarvey Black goes with the low driving kickoff, and it's, yeah, well, he can sum it up better. Didn't quite go as he planned, so hands the ball back to Chile.
Yeah, it can be hard to kick in these conditions. The bounce is really variable. Sometimes it sits up really nicely. Sometimes the ball just sticks in the mud and doesn't give you what you're expecting. And that can make it really hard to do those really accurate kicks that you're going for when you're doing something lower like that.
There's Turrialba. He's had a bit of World Series experience. They played in Vancouver and Edmonton in 2021, Chile. Rugby in the country on such a high after qualifying for Rugby World Cup 2023. And their Sevens team getting a good crack here. Stuck on halfway as Luka Strabuki clears, or good hands. The ball was rifled back towards Clemente Armstrong. New Zealand trying to get physical, but predicting that ball well, Bustamante. And now here's Chimino. Nice ball for Strabuki. Armstrong. New Zealand's defence very well organised at the moment, though, although we've seen in these conditions how easy it is to slip off some of the tackles. These teams got the best of the weather so far at the moment. Here's Diego Graeber. Can't quite link up with Chimino on the outside, and hand possession to New Zealand.
Just when you thought there was some space beckoning in front of Chimino, the pass just going in behind from Glaber, and Chile testing New Zealand, going side to side, but New Zealand looking very, very in control. Their defense is so well organized, probably the best organized of all the teams on the World Series, and Chile is finding it hard to break them down so far.
Yeah, they've conceded the fewest tries of any team so far this season, while scoring plenty. Here's Carter. Work back down into the traffic for Collier. Carter thought about scooting down the blind side, changes his mind. Webber, always so dangerous with his footwork. Joe Webber, player of the final in the win in Sydney a few weeks ago. Happy going backwards for now, New Zealand. Collier might propel them forward in his 50th. Good feet for the big tall man. And then throws not one of his best offloads, but New Zealand will get a penalty. Tackled without the ball was Leroy Carter, who just goes straight away himself. Leroy Carter becoming an increasingly important figure in this New Zealand team. Leroy Carter gets a second try for New Zealand.
Comes from the careless penalty by Chile. I think it was unnecessary. The ball looked like it was rolling out anyway, but Carter just so quick here. After the penalty is given, Chile, you can see their backs are to him. He's just really alert, seeing the space, taking the opportunity, and being far in behind Chile before they even knew he had the ball.
Oh, conversion's good too. Nicely done. Leroy Carter, he said, yeah, 24th birthday on Thursday. McGarvey Black goes up the middle. It's brought down by Ernesto Chimino, number 8 for Chile. Tries to stab a little kick through. It's come off legs, though, and fallen for Collier. Here's Finianano for first real chance to stretch the legs for him. Brought down, well, the debutant for New Zealand. Webber tidies up the loose ball. A little bit of footwork again for Collier. Dixon comes sliding in. I tell you, if there's any team that's probably used to this weather, it'll be New Zealand, because this is what they've trained in all summer, all southern hemisphere summer, where it has rained quite a lot. Here's Solo, and now Collier. Ranging upfield, up over the 22, come New Zealand again, testing this Chilean defence. McGarvey Black, step, and then the big wide ball. Standing out there is Carter, waiting to receive it in open arms. Leroy Carter gets his second.
Carter, the recipient of some beautiful, patient play for New Zealand, working them side to side, doing a really fantastic job here. McGarvey Black with some footwork. When he gets the ball, he's just electric. He just seems to move that slight bit faster than everyone else. Opens up some space, and Carter doing a really good job going in the corner under the pressure of the Chileans. But New Zealand looking very composed so far, not really stretching too deep into their bag of tricks, I don't think, so far.
This is such a challenging pool with Samoa and the United States. We know how close these teams are across the board. 19 points to 0 now. New Zealand lead. Ngaro here, McGarvey Black. Sends this one deep. Bouncing to be tidied up by
Brack 11 in front on the halfway.
Chile's captain, the player in front on that kickoff, was there?
Yeah, it looked like Joe Webber might have just sneaked in front. He was on the referee's blind side, so I think the touch judge must have called that, but gives Chile an opportunity.
Yeah, here goes Marcelo Torrealba, the captain. Good heads up and a nice set of hands from Armstrong. Oh, that one doesn't quite stick. Backwards, though, still there for Chile. Strabuki. Across the hands it goes. Bustamante is in. Great try for Chile. Heads up play, and Manuel Bustamante scores it.
Wow, what a try from Chile. Amazing. After they looked like they were picking up the ball on their own 5-meter line, get right on the front foot from the tap on halfway. Some little mistake there, able to hold on to the ball. And I was wondering if the kick was the right option here, but perfectly executed. He's able to slide over in the corner under the pressure from Collier, and Chile getting on the scoreboard right at the end here of the first half.
Great composure from Chile. Oh, and a great kick as well. 19 points to 7. That's a great score from Chile, isn't it? Just to give them that little bit of confidence that, yep, they can match it with one of the top teams.
Yeah, I'm sure Chile looked at this pool, and there's both the, you love to play against the top teams when you have the opportunity, but you're also like, oh, someone other than those, yeah, 3 big physical teams might have been nice, but really showing some positivity at the end of the first half. It's really easy once things start going against you to continue to allow your heads to drop. But Chile doing a fantastic job of staying positive, getting on the front foot, and when New Zealand gave them the opportunity with the mistake, with the infraction at the kickoff, they took it with no second invitation.
All right, the winner of your hands on 15th game number 1, young lady, you're our winner. Thanks for participating. Good job.
First round of matches here on morning 1 of the HSBC Los Angeles Sevens. Fiji coming up against Japan in just over half an hour's time. Right now it is New Zealand leading Chile 19 points to 7. Second half underway. That kick's not going to go 10 either from Ngaruhi Magavi-Black.
Yeah, second mistake there in a row on the kickoff, and might not matter as much in this one, but it's an area it's really important to be accurate on, especially in these conditions when you can put a lot of team under a lot of pressure on the other team when they're receiving the kickoff. It's giving them a free attack and a really good attacking platform. So mistake there.
Marcelo Torrealba, good leader of this Chilean team, the number 4, Stravuki. Trying a little set move. Chimino, here's Torrealba again, who just runs headlong into Roderick Solo. He's pinched that ball on the way through. Brilliant work from the 21-year-old. Scores, tries, and wins ball back as well. Here's Fehi Finiananofo, the debutant for New Zealand. Really exciting talent. Had some injuries. Going to concede a penalty there. And a bit of afters between Carter and Avelli.
Yeah, referee judging, they're just getting in each other's way there. It looked pretty dramatic, but yeah, we'll be play on. Part of the game, I guess. But Chile getting the ball, getting possession, have the opportunity from this line out. And yeah, I think it was just an extra roll on the ground from Finiananofo. Oh, but mistake.
Penalty hasn't found touch from the kick, so it's given the ball back to New Zealand. Just tried to carve off a few too many metres. Here is Carter. Hates a scrap, this guy. Penalty goes against Chile. He passed the ball on the ground. Weber for Dixon, the captain. And Collier, some experience between those 3 names. Dylan Collier look to accelerate up the middle. Solo coming in off the wing. Throws a wild ball, which Finiananofo can't tidy up. And here's another chance for Chile. Magavi-Black scoops up the loose ball. New Zealand losing metres. Oh, now the fend up the middle. Finiananofo able to go again. Carter, Weber. Oh, it's an ugly period of play from New Zealand. And they'll hand the ball back to Chile.
New Zealand showing a lot of enterprise so far in this game. They've been throwing the ball. They haven't let the conditions change their tactics too much. And we have seen quite a few balls rolling on the ground. They've been able to pick them up and get back on the attack so far in this game. But it'll be something to keep an eye on as they go into these games with Samoa and USA later on. Do they change their tactics, become a bit more confrontational, kind of minimize those long looping passes that we've seen a lot of from them in this game, because it has led to some mistakes. So we'll see what happens later on.
Brady Rush in for New Zealand in his 10th World Series tournament now. Torrealba one way, then the other. Can't get past McGarvey Black, but it's a nice move from Chile's captain, who found Baltazar Hanna, number 9. Armstrong, Clemente Armstrong, is getting a little sideways and allowing Solo again to come through. Had a second dab at it, though. The penalty. New Zealand just pegged back here at the moment by the Chileans. Loose ball falls back on their side again. Chimino looking for a second try here as Chile really put some pressure on New Zealand. Ball is wide for Federico Kennedy, who's just stopped in his tracks by Weber. Weber hassling Hanna at the base of that ruck. And it's New Zealand who gets the penalty.
New Zealand's defence coming through with some big tackles and following through really well in the breakdown. Part of the 7-up defence means you do often have more numbers there, able to put it in the counter-attack. Chile going sideways a lot, going backwards a lot. That makes it much, much easier for the supporting defenders to put a lot of pressure on the breakdown.
In these heavy conditions, substitutions rolling in for both teams, how important the coach's use of their benches. Heavy legs, wet weather.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, using your bench is crucial in these early games, making sure that you're balancing the minutes as much as possible. I think it is an example of why some of these top teams are more consistent than the others, because they're able to spread some of these early pool game minutes out among their full 12 versus other teams who have to play their 7 for a lot more minutes in these early games.
The 18-year-old Peyton Spencer onto the field for New Zealand, as is there is the 4 Aquila Rokulesoa, who's probably been the Kiwis' best this season. Here's Spencer, just his second tournament. Rokulesoa for a rush. Louis Ormond out there as well in 23. Made his return to the New Zealand side here in Los Angeles last year and has become another important member. Flicks a nice little ball for Spencer. Ormond. And across he goes for McGarvey Black. Rush with the bobble. And now barreling up the middle. Offloads there for Ormond again. Good support play from New Zealand. Rokulesoa for Collier. And Collier's got Spencer in a little bit of space. Chopping back in field again. Ormond. New Zealand very patient, very precise in this attacking phase. McGarvey Black slips off one and then finds the direct runner again. It's Spencer. Tried to throw the ball just as the tackle came across. Good work from Chile's defence, though. They stood firm, Madison.
Really did. Really good scramble defence from Chile. New Zealand putting them under a lot of pressure, going through phase after phase. Looked like they had the 3-on-2 here, New Zealand, but just delayed the pass slightly too long, did Spencer. And that allowed the Chilean defender to get on the ball, put that kind of tackling arm on his arm as he was trying to pass the ball, forces the mistake. And really good defense from Chile, and have been impressed by them after those first couple minutes when New Zealand was scoring tries, scoring points, getting lots of go forward ball. Chile have done a good job of getting back into this game and giving New Zealand a pretty good go here.
9 of the Chilean squad of 13 on debut in the World Series. A couple of them played in the World Cup last year, but first taste of World Series rugby. Here's Baltazar Hanna goes to ground, and it's cleared away by Santiago Edwards. Could be trouble here, though. Yep, held on to that ball too long on the ground, and now, throwing it away. Just can't do it, and Chile will go down to 6.
Yeah, I think that yellow card there is an instance of what you can sometimes get away with at non-World Series tournaments, but on the World Series, it's an automatic yellow every single time. And unfortunate there for Chile, and it's going to put them under pressure in this last minute. Federico
Kennedy, the 18-year-old, sitting in the sin bin. So Chile down to 6. New Zealand with Rokulesoa. There's a Leo out there now too. There's that sun that appeared now seems to disappear, and Brady Rush looks like he might disappear from the Chilean defensive line. He absolutely will. The big long strides of Brady Rush finally gets a try for New Zealand in the second half.
Great try from Brady Rush, stepping off his right foot. Loves playing on US soil. He played here in the summer at the PR Sevens, and he's back here, and you see there, Chilean defender sliding sideways. Rush spots the flagging defender on the inside. Really nice sidestep of his right foot, and then space beckons and stretches that lead for New Zealand.
second generation New Zealand Sevens player in that famed number 2 jersey. It's a 18th try of his young career, Brady Rush. $26 points to 7 now. Mistakes from Chile, New Zealand. Even though the whistle will blow up, I thought they might try and win that back and look to play, but that will be the final act of this match. New Zealand, the defending champions here in Los Angeles, underway with the first one. A little bit scrappy. Good enough for 26 points to 7. New Zealand beating Chile. Chile, they showed some really good signs, the invitational team. Slightly outmatched in the end. Right. New Zealand side that is bringing through a lot of young players. Many sidelined at the moment with injury, and they're finding some exciting talent. So that